Nnamdi Kanu has been in detention for a long time, even after the court said he should be set free. The court looked at all the charges against him and ruled that he was not guilty. The judges made it very clear, Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and acquitted. In the simplest terms, that means he has no case to answer. Normally, when a court gives such a judgment, the person is released immediately. That is what the law says. That is what justice means. But in this case, it did not happen. Nnamdi Kanu is still locked up, and this has confused a lot of people. People in Nigeria and even outside the country have been asking the same question. Why is Nnamdi Kanu still in detention after the court said he is free? Why is the government ignoring a clear court order? This question has been asked over and over again, but there has been no honest answer from those in power. Many people believe something is wrong. They believe that if the court can no longer protect someone, then something is very wrong with the system. The law is supposed to be the highest authority in any country, but what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu shows that the government is acting above the law. This is not just a small issue. It is a very big one because it affects the future of justice in the country. If the government can ignore the court in this case, then it can do the same to anyone else. Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, Aloy Ejimakor, decided to speak on this matter because people need to know the truth. He explained why the government has refused to obey the court order. He said the reason is very simple. The government does not want to release Nnamdi Kanu because they are afraid. Yes, afraid. They fear what will happen if Nnamdi Kanu is free again. This statement might sound surprising, but when you think about it, it makes sense. Nnamdi Kanu is not an ordinary man. He is a leader that many people listen to. He has millions of followers, both in Nigeria and outside the country. Whenever he speaks, people pay attention. His words carry weight. He has a strong voice that inspires people to demand their rights. The government knows this very well, and that is why they are afraid of him. Aloy Ejimakor explained that fear is the real reason Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. It is not about the law anymore because the law has already spoken. The court has done its job and cleared him. But the government does not want to obey. They believe that if Nnamdi Kanu comes out, his influence will become stronger. They believe that if he is free, the call for justice and freedom will grow louder. They believe that if he is allowed to speak to his followers again, it will shake the system. This is what they are afraid of, and that is why they are breaking the law just to keep him locked up. VeryDarkMan, a well-known activist, also spoke about this. He agreed with Aloy Ejimakor that the government is acting out of fear. He said what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu is not about justice anymore. It is about power and control. When people in power feel threatened by someone's influence, they will do anything to keep that person silent. That is exactly what is happening here. The truth is simple. Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention not because of any crime, but because the government fears what will happen when he is free. They fear his voice. They fear his popularity. They fear the movement he represents. That is the real reason he is still behind bars even after the court set him free. The biggest question now is, what exactly is the government afraid of? Why would they choose to break the law and disobey a court order instead of letting Nnamdi Kanu go home? The answer is fear, pure fear of what his freedom could mean for them. Aloy Ejimakor, who is Nnamdi Kanu's lawyer, explained this clearly. He said that the government fears Nnamdi Kanu because of the power of his voice. Nnamdi Kanu is not like an ordinary person. He is a leader with millions of supporters, both in Nigeria and outside Nigeria. When he speaks, people listen. His words carry weight. Many people see him as a symbol of justice and freedom. They believe in what he stands for. The government knows this very well, and that is why they are afraid of what will happen if he comes out of detention. According to Aloy Ejimakor, the government believes that if Nnamdi Kanu is released, his influence will rise even more. He will speak to his people, and his message will spread again. His followers will become more active, and the movement he represents will become very strong. This is what they do not want to happen. They are scared of his popularity because they know it can challenge their control. The truth is that Nnamdi Kanu is a man who speaks about freedom and justice. He talks about the rights of his people and the need for fairness in the country. When he was free before, his words inspired millions. The government knows that if he returns to the public space, he will speak louder than before. They believe that his voice can shake the system and make people demand change. That is why they are doing everything possible to keep him silent. VeryDarkMan, who is a popular activist and social critic, also spoke about this fear. He said that the government is not keeping Nnamdi Kanu because of the law. They are keeping him because they see him as a threat. He explained that governments sometimes act this way when they feel that someone has too much influence. When they think a person can make the people rise and demand their rights, they try to silence that person by any means. VeryDarkMan said something important: this is not about justice anymore. It is about power and control. He said the government wants to show that they are in charge. They want to show that no one can challenge their authority. By keeping Nnamdi Kanu in detention even after the court freed him, they are sending a message that they can do whatever they want, even if it means ignoring the law. This fear also comes from the fact that Nnamdi Kanu represents an idea. Ideas are powerful, and you cannot kill an idea by locking up a man. The government knows this, but they still believe that keeping him away from the people will slow down the movement. They fear that if he is allowed to speak again, millions of people will rise up and demand freedom. They fear protests. They fear that the call for self-determination will grow stronger. Another reason for this fear is that the government wants to protect its image. They believe that if Nnamdi Kanu is free, he will expose more truths. He will speak openly about the things the government wants to hide. He will talk about injustice, corruption, and oppression. The government does not want these issues to come back to the center of public discussion. So, they think the best way to stop this is to keep him locked up, even when the law says he should go home. Both Aloy Ejimakor and VeryDarkMan agreed that what is happening is very dangerous. If the government can ignore the law because of fear, then no one is safe. They warned that this is not just about Nnamdi Kanu but about every Nigerian. Today it is him. Tomorrow it can be anyone else. The rule of law is what protects everyone, and once the government starts breaking it, the country is in trouble. The truth is clear: the government fears Nnamdi Kanu because he is powerful, not with guns, but with words. They fear him because people believe in him. They fear him because he speaks the truth, and the truth is something they cannot control. That is why they are keeping him in detention, even after the court said he is free. When Aloy Ejimakor and VeryDarkMan spoke about Nnamdi Kanu's detention, they made it clear that this is not just about one man. It is about something bigger. It is about justice, freedom, and the rule of law in Nigeria. They said that if the government can ignore a court order and keep someone in detention, then nobody is safe. Today it is Nnamdi Kanu. Tomorrow it can be another person. That is why they want Nigerians to pay attention and understand what is happening. Aloy Ejimakor explained that the law should be the highest authority in any country. The court is there to protect everyone, whether rich or poor. When a court gives a judgment, it must be respected by everyone, including the government. But in this case, the opposite is happening. The court has discharged and acquitted Nnamdi Kanu. That means he has no case to answer. Yet, the government is still holding him. This is a direct attack on the rule of law. He warned that when a government starts acting above the law, the country is in serious danger. It means the rights of citizens can be taken away at any time. It means the government can decide who to arrest and how long to keep them without following the law. This is not how a democracy should work. In a democracy, the law must be obeyed by everyone. No one should be bigger than the law, not even the president. VeryDarkMan also spoke strongly about this. He said what is happening to Nnamdi Kanu is wrong in every way. He said the government is sending a bad message to the people. The message is that the law does not matter. The message is that the government can do anything and get away with it. He said this is dangerous because it destroys trust in the justice system. If people believe that court orders mean nothing, then they will lose hope in the system. When that happens, the country will face more problems. Both of them also reminded Nigerians that this is not about supporting or rejecting Nnamdi Kanu's ideas. It is about doing what is right. They said you do not need to agree with everything Nnamdi Kanu says before you stand for justice. The issue here is simple: the court has spoken, and the judgment must be obeyed. If we allow the government to ignore the court today, then we are allowing lawlessness to take over tomorrow. Aloy Ejimakor explained that Nnamdi Kanu is not a criminal. He has already faced trial, and the court freed him. That should be the end of the matter. But the government is acting like the law does not exist. He said this is a shame for a country that claims to practice democracy. In a real democracy, the government should lead by example. It should respect the law more than anyone else. VeryDarkMan added that keeping Nnamdi Kanu in detention after the court freed him shows that fear has taken over the government. They fear his voice because they know his voice is powerful. They fear that if he comes out, he will speak about the things they do not want people to hear. But he said the truth cannot be hidden forever. You can lock up a man, but you cannot lock up the truth. They both ended their message with a strong warning: Nigerians must wake up. They must not keep quiet when injustice is happening. If we allow this to continue, the rule of law will die. And when the rule of law dies, everyone will suffer. The government will become too powerful, and nobody will be safe. Aloy Ejimakor and VeryDarkMan want Nigerians to know that this fight is for justice. It is for freedom. It is for the future of the country. If the government can disobey the court and keep someone in prison without any legal reason, then the people must speak up. Silence will only make things worse. Justice delayed is justice denied, and right now, justice is being denied to Nnamdi Kanu.